bees are dying, and our survival hangs in the balance. In the past year, over 70% of U.S. bee colonies, more than 1.1 million hives, were lost, marking the worst collapse on record. At 4RBs, we're fighting back with our breakthrough PureWave cell, a quantum frequency device crafted with 48,000 Gauss rare earth magnets in the shape of the flower of life. When placed inside a beehive, it delivers remarkable results. Colonies grow 2 to 3 times larger, honey production soars, pesticide and antibiotic use drops to zero, colony collapse nearly vanishes, and queen replacements plummet. Every purchase also supports our beekeeper program, providing free PureWave cells to small beekeepers worldwide. Rebuilding life one hive at a time. Join the fight today and buy a jar of PureWave honey, or even one of the cells used by the beekeepers. Use code WITF for 20% off at 4rbs.com. And if you're listening on audio only, that's the number 4, letter R, bees.com.
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had a fantastic week, and thank you for joining myself and Morgana. Tully is, I don't know. Tully's been missing for a few days. Everybody keep him in your thoughts. We hope that he turns back up. So I want to bring you to attention. We got a comment on YouTube about the Joe Exotic episode that said clickbait. I don't know if they were saying he didn't come on or something. But he don't come on for like 42 minutes, so
right.
So come on, if you're wanting to get to that, just skip forward.
Yeah, and I think something that a lot of people don't realize is when you're in prison, you can say, I'm going to do this at this time, but there's apt to be a lockdown situation. There's apt to be a line of people because there are limited phones and stuff. So, I mean, when you say 6 o'clock, that's if you're damn lucky.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But hey, Linda, it's good to see you up there. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. Let's get right into it, huh?
All right, sounds good to me. So, are you feeling good, or am I feeling good?
I think you're feeling better than I am.
All right, awesome. So, on October the 6th, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Game Wardens arrested 39-year-old Ethan McNeely near Lake Tawakoni Dam in East Texas for attempting to hunt squirrels using only his hands and teeth. Describing himself as a primal predator, McNeely, an Oregon transplant, was spotted crouching in the woods, stalking his prey without weapons or a hunting license. When confronted, he spat out tree bark and argued that his God-given claws and fangs exempted him from state regulations, claiming his methods were a natural pact with Mother Nature. His theatrical defense, complete with growls and a self-proclaimed inner wolf, didn't sway the Warrens, who charged him with hunting without a license and disorderly conduct. Released on bond from Rains County Jail, McNeely's bizarre stunt has since become a viral sensation. The incident exploded on social media, where users dubbed him everything from a wannabe caveman to the founder of the Molar Hunters Club. Texas law requires a license for hunting game like squirrels, and while barehanded hunting isn't explicitly illegal, McNeely's toothy approach crossed into unlicensed territory. His philosophy seems tied to primal living trends, possibly inspired by online survivalist subcultures. The case, while humorous, underscores the state's firm stance on wildlife regulations, no matter how natural the method. His court date remains pending, but his story is already a legend among outdoor enthusiasts and meme makers alike.
I mean, it sounds like he's just trying to live the wildlife. Hey, Crystal. It sounds like he's just trying to live, off the land. I don't really understand the concern around this. The picture that I seen of this fella, which I wish I had it pulled up, but it wasn't included in this week's information. He looks a little wild.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. I agree with that.
He may have had some substances that were involved, but I feel like if you're not using a weapon and you're using your bare hands, that should be fair game.
But I don't know about all states, but I know like Mississippi, they even have a primitive weapon season where you can only use like bows and black powder guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would try to put it under that category or how they would do that, because that's an unprecedented situation. That's the first time I've heard of anybody being caught hunting that way.
Being caught for sure.
Being caught, that's right.
Yeah.
And they would go hand in hand.
Most of them won't get caught. I think that's the biggest thing here. He should have ran.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I mean, you have to wonder if somebody turned him in, said, hey, there's a crazy looking guy out here, running around on all fours or whatever it was. Or if, the game warden just happened to be in the woods and he ran across.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's untelling what happened right there. So what, I don't know. What kind of time do you think this fella is going to get out of this? Probably not much. What are they going to do for poaching? Probably.
Yeah, and I figure whatever his bond amount is, he'd probably get fined.
Yeah.
I mean, and I couldn't imagine they had a big bond. I mean, I remember my little brother got in trouble for passing out at the Coliseum when he was a teenager, and his bond was $20. Drunk in public, which, he was passed out. So I'm not sure how that one actually stuck either.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's just taking a nap.
Exactly. See, that was kind of how I looked at it. But, it was easy for me to look at it that way because it didn't directly involve me. Hey, Mandy.
There's Amanda. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next one. A man has been arrested for the Palisades fire.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure you all know how we feel about these forest fires and things that happen in Los Angeles, but let's go over this a little bit and talk about this for a second. On October 8th of this year, so this would have been a couple days ago, federal authorities arrested a 29-year-old by the name of Jonathan Rinderneck. I can't pronounce that.
Rinderneck, maybe?
Rinderneck. In Florida on charges of maliciously starting what became the devastating Palisades fire in Los Angeles. The former Uber driver who once lived in the area is accused of igniting a small bush fire near Skull Rock Trailhead in Topanga State Park just after midnight on New Year's Day 2025. Let's see. The firefighters initially extinguished the blaze, dubbed the Lockman fire, but it smoldered underground undetected. A week later, on January 7th, a hurricane forced winds fanned embers to the surface, exploding into the Palisade fire that scorched over 23,000 acres, killed 12 people, and destroyed or damaged more than 6,800 structures, making it one of LA's most destructive wildfires. This person faces federal arson charges for burning public land, carrying a mandatory minimum of 5 years, by the way, which could go up to 20 years if convicted. He made an initial court appearance in Orlando that day and is set for extradition to be extradited to California. It seems weird. Is it possible I guess it is possible for fires to burn underground because of the ones in Pennsylvania, but how does it start from a bush burning underground, like following the root system?
I would guess so, because I know we've gotten this stuff before that you actually drill down into a stump and you pour this stuff in it and let it sit for a couple of hours, and then you drop a match down in it. And that's what it does, is it soaks down into the roots and stuff. Now, you have to specifically buy that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't answer that.
Stump burning is a pretty common thing around here. If you cut a tree down,
yeah,
I don't know. But prosecutors built a case on a trove of digital evidence from his phone, where with ChatGPT interactions playing a starring role in painting a picture of his fire obsession. Wow, ChatGPT's already ratting people out, just like what he said. In June of 2024, Months before the fire, he prompted the AI to generate a dystopian image of a burning forest with crowds fleeing in a blazing city, describing it as highlighting the stark contrast and direct connection between different parts of the world. Closer to the incident, a month prior, he reportedly told GPT, "I literally burnt the Bible that I had. It felt amazing. It felt so liberating." Most damningly, while alleging on the phone with 911 to report the fire, that he had just said his screen recorded his iPhone asking the AI, "Are you at fault if a fire is lit because of your cigarettes?" A query investigation says say was an attempt to fabricate an innocent explanation, as non-smoking evidence was found at the scene. Yeah, I dare him blame cigarettes. Additionally, additional clues include geolocation data,
Uh-huh.
placing his phone at the ignition point, videos he filmed of the flames, and repeated listens to a rap song featuring fire starting visuals. So are they just saying that he's a pyro? Like,
Yeah, and I did look it up while you were reading that. Said that a bushfire can become an underground fire when a surface fire burns through combustible material like peat, duff, and roots, then continues to smolder beneath the ground. It generally occurs under specific conditions, such as when the soil has high organic content, is dry enough to burn, and has deep, continuous fuel layers. So, and said it can burn for months, or even years, and that it causes a significant challenge to firefighters because they're hard to detect and extinguish. So,
neat.
I guess it's an actual thing.
I mean, if he did it on purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
Lock him up, send him away. But it's really strange how this happened, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sounds like you've already done the investigation now.
Yeah, I have to wonder, did he post something somewhere that gave them the initial start so that they could confiscate his devices and stuff?
Who knows?
I mean, because the only way you could get to the Chat GPT stuff would be on his computer or his phone.
Yeah, and I'm sure that these arson investigators have ways of determining things. They said that it started like a month prior. It had been burning for a month until it caught up.
Yep.
But there was no smoking indications like that. It started from a cigarette. Like, I don't know. How would you know? Like, it could have blew away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not an arson investigator, so
no, and I'm not a firebug, so
I'm not a firebug anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, that one's a kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I guess it depends on what they allow when it goes to court. Whether they consider it circumstantial or whether it's taken as his own word. That he's gonna, that he's done this.
Yeah.
So, because I didn't hear he hasn't denied it at all, has he?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just best to keep your mouth shut. And I say that because when I was in my early 20s, one of the guys I grew up next door to, he's like a month younger than I am. He broke into a bar and took the stuff, took money and whatever. So he gets arrested, not caught on the scene or anything. So my dad and his dad go down there to talk to him to see what's going on and everything. And the investigator had asked him how he got in, and he told him, he goes, "That is literally impossible. There is no way that you could have broken into there that way."
Wow.
So Daddy and his dad told him, "Don't say another word. You just shut up." By the time they went and talked to an attorney and got back, he had taken them to the bar and showed them how he did it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, that's that old thing about stupid should hurt, because you tend to learn a little bit better from it. So sometimes you just need to shut the hell up and not show off your skills.
I agree.
So, all right.
I was getting texts during that from Tolley. He's been found. and my wife, who popped in the comments and just wanted to let me know that my shirt was on backwards. So thank you. I appreciate that.
But it looks really cool.
And it's not on backwards. The reason she thinks that it's on backwards is because when I wore it the other day, I was wearing it backwards then.
Okay, I got
Now
you.
now it's on the correct way.
I love it. That's right. Keep them guessing, Cecil. Keep them guessing. All right. So Discord says 70,000 users may have had their government IDs leaked in a breach.
Sweet.
ID things going great. So on October the 9th, Discord, the popular messaging platform with over 200 million users, primarily known for gaming communities, disclosed that approximately 70,000 users may have had their government-issued IDs photos leaked in a security incident. The breach didn't target Discord's core system directly, but instead compromised a third-party vendor identified in some reports as 5CA through Zendesk, another provider, but they denied involvement, which handled customer support and age verification appeals. Users submit these ID photos, often selfies holding a driver's license or passport alongside their Discord username, to verify their age during appeals or compliance checks. The incident was discovered in late September, and Discord revoked the vendor's access immediately upon learning of it. The exposed data includes not only the ID photos, but also names, Discord usernames, email addresses, partial billing information, the last four of the credit cards, and purchase history, IP addresses, and messages exchanged with Discord's customer support or trust and safety teams. Crucially, no full credit card details, CVV codes, passwords, or in-app activities beyond supporting interactions were compromised. Discord has notified all affected users via email from noreply@discord.com specifying if their ID was involved and is collaborating with law enforcement and a forensics firm for investigation. The company emphasized that this affects a limited subset of users who interacted with support, and they've advised recipients to monitor for phishing attempts. Do you know, I got a message from them the other day saying that I was possibly involved in a data breach. And I've never been to verify myself.
Yeah, I haven't either. I didn't get the email though either. So
I did. Now, as I'm reading, I'm going, no CVV codes. Yeah, I remember all of this. I might need to look a little closer. Hackers have claimed a far larger haul, up to 5.5 million users' data and over 2 million ID photos, posting samples on Telegram to support their extortion demands. Discord dismisses these figures as inflated tactics to pressure for ransom, stating that they won't pay and that attackers are extremely angry after communications broke down. Cybersecurity experts warn this highlights risk in age verification system, which are increasingly mandated by laws in places like the US and the UK, turning third-party handlers into prime targets for identity theft and scams. While no widespread leaks have surfaced yet, affected users should freeze their credit, update security, and avoid suspicious contact, another stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in outsourced data handling. And you would think they would have the toughest things in place to prevent something like that from happening.
I mean, I kind of get, the having to have the ID verification for things like pornography, I can get that. But they're getting a little out of hand with it. I'm assuming that these Discord channels where people gave their IDs were like probably some extreme Discord channels, had to be, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to verify your ID.
Yeah.
It's going to trickle down to where you have to do that with literally everything. Mm-hmm. And things are getting breached constantly.
Yep.
And even if it didn't get all this information this time, next time it's going to, 100%.
And here's the really bad thing about it. And I'm not giving, an opinion one way or another about which way to go with it. But I know in Mississippi, and Mississippi is one of the lowest places as far as the cost of data security. It runs about $80,000 a year to have, stuff in place to prevent the breaches. Or you can get data breach insurance for about a third of that.
Yeah.
And, sadly, a lot of smaller businesses tend to go the insurance route because, if you pay somebody $80,000 a year and you don't have a breach ever, then they're looking at it as that's money thrown away.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Like even when it comes to the pornography thing, like if a kid wants it bad enough, they're going to get it.
yep.
I mean, I hate to go into this, but as a young man, we didn't have the internet like we do now.
Mm-hmm.
It was easily accessible. It was surprisingly easily accessible to get things like that.
It's like, are you 18? Yes, I am. Okay, here you go.
Yeah. There were movie stores. There was under dad's bed,
Yep, exactly. But the early internet was very easy because, like I said, you literally had to say, yes, I'm 18. And, eventually it got to the point where there was so much spam and commercials and click-throughs and stuff that it became more difficult. But like you say, a kid doesn't have anything but time. They could sit there and click through 20 windows to get to the good stuff. Or the previews that are there is what most kids would be plenty happy with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think that they should really do, if they're going to do this, they need to do it for like these online games more than anything, it sounds like.
Yep.
Because that's where the true like predators are on these games. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
It. Yeah. Let's try keeping the pervs out of the kids' games instead of trying to get the kids,
Yeah. Like, let's get them out of there. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what do we got next on the list here?
Secret Service.
The Secret Service. The U.S. Secret Service discovers SIM farm could have shut down cell service and the internet in New York. So last month, as the United Nations General Assembly approached in New York City, drawing over 150 world leaders and heightening security concerns, the U.S. Secret Service uncovered and dismantled a sprawling, hidden telecommunication. That what's so horrible is I work in telecommunications.
I know.
Hidden telecommunications network poised to wreak havoc on the city's infrastructure. The operation, dubbed one of the largest seizures of its kind, revealed over 100,000 active SIM cards housed in more than 300 SIM servers across 5 abandoned apartment buildings in the New York tri-state area, which would be New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, all within a 35-mile radius of the UN headquarters. These SIM farms, cluster of devices that automated the use of disposable SIM cards for mass communications, were capable of overwhelming cellular networks up to 30 million text messages per minute.
Wow.
Potentially disabling cell towers, jamming 911 calls, flooding systems with spam or malware, smishing attacks, or even intercepting a cloning signal for surveillance. That's nuts. That's so wild.
Yeah.
So the discovery stemmed from 6 months of protective intelligence probe by the Secret Service Advanced Threat Indication Unit, launched after a surge of anonymous telephonic threats and swatting incidents targeting 3 senior U.S. government officials in spring of 2025. What began as an effort to trace burner phones and rapidly rotating numbers evolved into a stunning revelation when agents raided these sites. They found neatly organized racks of servers, labeled cables, and shelves stacked with SIM card packaging, alongside 80 grams of cocaine. Somebody has to, you got to stay up somehow.
That's right. That's a lot of work to do it on your own. Wow.
And there was illegal firearms, computers, cell phones, all that stuff. And early forensic analysis of the SIM data, which contains the equivalent of thousands of individual phone histories, point to ties with nation-state actors, organized crime syndicates, drug cartels, human trafficking rings, terrorist organizations. All this are part of this encrypted network. And Special Agent in charge, Matt McCool of the Secret Service New York field office, describes it as a immediate telecommunications threat. Why can't I say that?
Just say telecom
Threat. emphasizing the timing near the UNGA could have created chaos for emergency responders, diplomats, and civilians alike. No arrests have been made, and officials stress there's no confirmed plot specifically targeting the UN, but the scale suggests sophisticated, possibly state-sponsored operations. State-sponsored.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's crazy to think that that's out there. And it was spread across 3 states in
Mhm.
multiple abandoned apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Who owns the buildings? Who's running the electric? Where are they getting the coolant? Like, there's so
Yeah.
much that I have questions about in reference to that.
Well, exactly. Because, like I said, for them to just be in abandoned buildings with no, certifiable purpose. Hey, Alan Lassiter.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. Because, like I said, somebody was doing it for a reason. The places that it was at, within a radius of a specific location. I mean, and they're tying it to all of these different, groups of the cartel and state sponsored and this, that, and the other. I mean, what better thing to target than the big UN meeting that they have every year?
I mean, it's obviously one. That's probably where your scam calls are coming from that you get every single day.
Right.
I get probably 20 calls a day now. It's insane. There was a time recently when I didn't get any calls for a minute, but they've even went to text. You get text now.
Oh yeah, I get bogus text regularly from some girl in California because remember we met at Susie's birthday the other night.
Yeah.
I wanted to invite you to my party. Wrong number. Oh, I'm so sorry, but if you're in LA, come to my party. Okay.
Where's it at?
In LA, so. But yeah, it is. It's insane. And now that's one of the new features on the iPhone 26 software is my calls that aren't listed in my phone that aren't in my address book come in silent.
Really?
And I mean, it'll throw just a little thing there saying there's a number, calling from this number, but it never actually rings. And I think that's fantastic.
I probably need to run my update. But I mean, we need to, I don't know, maybe we need to have a purge of like tech. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like some kind of purge of tech. I don't know.
I do not disagree with that. I am a hoarder of digital books and stuff. Mm-hmm. I've got hundreds of thousands of digital books, back when you could like get by with, scalping and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But here the last year I have started buying hard books again.
Yeah.
And everything because I'm probably on Facebook 2 hours a week, if that. Yeah. And that's usually because I'm setting up our podcasts or checking stuff like that. And then when I'm on there doing that, then I may go through and see if I have any notifications and stuff. But I'm almost never on TikTok unless Mo or Tully or one of you guys send me something.
Yeah.
And I never go to Instagram. I don't. I'm so aggravated with the environment anymore. That I just, and then when I do go on, I look at dog videos and stuff like that.
You know what I do the majority of the time I'm on the cell phone anymore? I shop. I'm looking at Marketplace on Facebook. I'm looking at Amazon. I'm looking at Sweetwater. I'm looking at Guitar Stand. Like that's what I do. I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
In the mornings I'll look at TikTok for like 20 or 30 minutes just to get my morning started while I'm drinking coffee and chain smoking. But I mean, if I could get rid of this phone, I would. But they're necessary now. You have to have them.
They are because if you went back to a house phone, most likely it's going to have to be a VoIP. Because do they even make phone lines out in the sticks where I live anymore? I don't know.
Yeah. And I've always been totally to tell you he kind of makes, I think he makes fun of me a little bit about it. I've always been a hard copy person. Mm-hmm. Like, I still buy DVDs.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
me too.
like,
Same.
I
Right
buy
there with
books.
you.
I buy
Yep.
hard books. I don't have nothing digital as far as books go.
Oh,
Um,
I do. But like I said, now when I used to do it, I still like bought the books I just enjoy reading. So
yeah.
I'd have them because crap could happen tomorrow. You know, I mean, we have seen that they can take down a grid. And if
Oh,
they
yeah.
ever get serious about it, you know, but
There's
I
one
still,
cable. There's one cable in the middle of the ocean that controls the internet. I mean,
exactly. Yep.
I want to
But I
know where
mean,
that cable runs from. Does it run from
you
us
know,
across the ocean, or from across the ocean to us, or is it like
well,
some kind of barrier right in the middle where it splits?
well, here's my question. You know, we've never been able to get down to the Titanic to actually look personally to see
Yeah.
what's there. You know, they've sent a few probes because of the pressure and stuff. Uh, how did they get the damn wires down there?
I don't
Did they
know.
just wait them and let them just start
Just
falling?
in the sink.
Crystal, I do buy banned books. And yeah, like I said, I buy oh, thank you very much. But I will go to the used bookstore. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm officially a library. I have over 1,000 books, actual
Oh,
books.
Mandy and I travel a lot anymore. We go out of town quite a bit, and anytime I see a new bookstore, I'm like, "Ooh, bookstore! Can we
Uh-huh.
stop there?"
Yep. Same. You know, and now I listen to audiobooks just because I can do that while I'm working. It took me a while to make that transition because it was either focus on the book or focus on work. I couldn't do both. But I've gotten to where I can have a book playing all day. So I think last year I read 212 books. Well, I listened to 212 books for the year. So I go to bed every night. Unless Mo's home, my TV never gets turned on.
Ooh, okay,
And,
that's Knoxville.
you know, so, but anyway, so a cold wave hits the energy transition. German electricity prices suddenly explode. So, a sudden cold wave in early October hit Germany, disrupting its energy transition and causing electricity prices to skyrocket. The cold, paired with low wind speeds and cloudy skies, slashed solar and wind power output, a phenomenon known as Dunkelflaut. Dunkelflaut. So wholesale electricity prices hit a 7-month high, spiking or peaking above 500 euros per megawatt hour on October 8th and 9th, compared to a yearly average of 75 euros. Grid operators warned of potential shortages, forcing a scramble to fire up gas and coal plants and import power from neighbors like France and Poland. This reliance on fossil fuels spiked emission and exposed gaps in Germany's renewable heavy system, which lacks enough storage and flexible backup to handle such weather-driven dips. The surge has sparked heated debate, with some blaming the phase-out of nuclear and coal for leaving the grid vulnerable, while others argue that better use of biogas, hydro, and batteries could have softened the blow. Households on fixed contracts are largely shielded, but industries face cost volatility, raising concerns about economic impacts. Social media buzzed with frustration and memes about freezing in the dark alongside calls for grid reform and even nuclear revival. Milder weather is easing the strain for now, but the episode underscores the challenges of balancing green goals with energy security, pushing for faster investment in storage and regional grid links. Add our growing inventory of AI data centers, and we're going to be in a global nightmare electricity scenario.
So, the average, this seems like propaganda to me. The average temperature in Germany, there in October is between 10 and 11 degrees Celsius, which is 50 to 52 degrees.
Perfect weather.
This month so far, it's been 7 to 14 degrees Celsius, which, if you know, it's like 44 degrees Fahrenheit to 57 degrees. It was like 43 in this house this morning. I was like, "Ooh, it's nice." Like,
Yeah.
we don't have our heater. I guess you got to get acclimated to it, but put on some clothes. Put on some clothes. That's what we do.
Well, that's and that's my thing is I am one of the most hot-blooded people you will ever meet in your life. When everybody else is freezing with sweaters and stuff, I'm going, good God. You know, I mean, I do not own a heavy coat or jacket, which you really don't need it down here. I mean, you know, we occasionally have temperatures in the winter that drop below freezing, but on average, you know, we may have 1 or 2 days a year that get below freezing. Last year we had a snowstorm, which is very unprecedented. That's the only reason I have a heavy denim jacket.
Heavy denim?
Yeah, heavy denim. That is my idea of a coat. But
did you wear a Canadian suit?
Yes. Yes. So, but anyway, so like I said, yeah, that to me is when the weather gets nice, is when it's in, you know, like 68 to 70 during the day and in the 40s at night.
Oh no, I'm kind of like Theo Vaughn. I'm like 2 tank tops in the winter. You know what I mean?
Right. Gotcha. I've gotcha. I get it. But
And
you know,
it makes Mandy so mad because I grew up the first part of my life in Florida,
mm-hmm.
but I'd much rather be cold.
Yes.
I'd so much rather be like just cold.
Oh yeah, just throw on some extra clothes.
Yeah.
But you cannot take off enough clothes and still be legal in most places.
Which is cool. You should be able to do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few places, but you know.
Jenny, we're the reverse in this house. We don't turn on our heat until you can see your breath and the water's starting to freeze coming out of the tap.
Same.
Then we put it on like 50. All right.
But yeah, so anyway.
Oh, Disney officially shuts down Hulu after 20 years.
Where did you read that?
It's down here. Disney has officially announced the shutdown of Hulu as an independent streaming platform, with full integration into Disney Plus set to be complete by the end of 2026. This was revealed early October. It comes after Disney gained complete ownership of Hulu this summer, following the finalization of its long-standing acquisition deal with Comcast Hulu, which launched in 2007. I didn't even know Hulu was around in 2007. That's wild.
I didn't either. I was getting, DVDs from Netflix then, but not Hulu.
Yeah. It's crazy how many of these places were around.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, everybody knows Hulu's got, Bridesmaids Tale, The Bear. It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got one of my favorite shows, but they canceled it, so I'm not really too upset over this. It's called Deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's about this medium. He's a pothead and a kind of a loser, but he can see ghosts, and he helps them. Well, it's good. I like it. I'm still watching it. I watch it on repeat. But the transition kicks off immediately with deeper Hulu integrations appearing in the Disney Plus app, which they already do that anyway. You can pair up deals with Hulu, Disney, and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I was tickled to death when I got to opt out of ESPN because we don't watch it. So, I mean, at one time, if you got Disney Plus, you had to take the Hulu to go with it.
Yeah. Well, my wife is a big wrestling fan, and now you can only watch the big events on ESPN. So I had to.
Gotcha.
I had to get that. So so Hulu will no longer be a thing by the end of 2026. Disney, of course, is doing a price hike from $16 to $19 a month. Hulu is going to rise to $11.99 with ads. That it just keeps getting higher and higher.
It does. Yeah.
When Disney Plus first came out, it was like what, $6?
Yeah, $5.99 a month. Yep.
I'll tell you what hasn't changed its price that I know of is Shudder.
Still free.
I subscribed to Shudder for $4.99 when they first came out. And I'm pretty sure I'm still paying $4.99. That was before they had an app, though. You had to watch it on the website.
Right. Yeah.
So I might have some kind of special deal or something. But and
like I said, I mean, and I'm that dumbass that has 27 streaming services. So I I should really get rid of most of it. But like I said, I probably could. But then a certain show comes on a certain time of the year, like when they come back with From.
Yeah.
You know, I love that show. It's only on MGM. But, you know, I just keep paying for it year round.
Yeah.
So the same thing, you know, the new Dexters come out on Showtime, and it's like, oh, do I want to pay for that? And then they say, hey, for 99 cents for 3 months. And I'm like, oh, I can get it, watch it, delete it. Yeah, that never happens. So
Tully's went on price hike thing here. He's got something about Xbox too. I don't want to read that one. I don't feel like getting pissed off today.
Okay, so we're going to skip over that one, is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
that's fair.
Honestly, we always said that if we was one down, we could cut it 15 minutes early.
That's right. That's exactly right. You know, and like I said, we've covered all but 2 things.
Yeah, we did better this time around than we did with Tully as far as covering everything. No, I'm joking.
Well, we did start fresh this week.
No, he really didn't. He didn't really. Tully is a researcher, and when he sends us when he sends us stuff, there's usually like 50 stories. This week he went a little light. He must have been busy.
That or he goes, they're not going to read all this. I'm just going to throw these on there.
He probably didn't expect us to do more than 2. So what's happening on Weird Awakenings tonight? I think it's just going to be me and you, isn't it?
It's going to be me and you, and we are doing Quickie Crypties.
Quickie Crypties.
Yep.
If you don't know what Quickie Crypties is, it's a thing we started long ago where we covered cryptids quickly. I've got some unique ones that I found. I hope anyway. I don't think Weird Awakenings ever covered them. I don't think We're in the Folk has, but we may have.
Yeah.
We'll remember them when we get started. If you're in the cryptids, come on over to Weird Realities Network here at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And check us out, and we'll give you that cryptid rundown.
Yep.
And if you haven't already done it, like and subscribe to everything. Let's see.
Go get you some of that good honey if you're in the market.
Yeah. Go over to 4rbs.com, which you'll see the commercial here in a minute for that. Use the promo code WITF.
Get 20% off.
20% off. It's good stuff.
Yes, it is.
I really enjoyed it.
I just opened my second jar because I've got 2 little girls that won't leave mine alone.
There is one thing I want to talk about, though, before we completely. Okay. Easy sent us something on the 7th, wanting us to go out and look at the moon, which I had done. Did you notice the moon on the 7th, like the light coming from it?
Yep.
It was almost
I got pictures of it.
It was almost daylight here. It's crazy. And like it's more than a regular full moon. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
it was the harvest moon. It was the full moon, and it was a super moon. And so I actually watched somebody from Appalachia, and she said that according to native tradition, that if you had a ring around the moon on this particular moon, you were in for a cold winter. But if you had a moon that was also large, which it was because it was a super moon, and it had a red or orange tint to it, that meant a cold, wet winter. So
I'm not down with that, but it's all gravy.
Yeah. I love the folklore and stuff though that people, put out there about that kind of thing. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's all neat.
Yep.
So
I'm going to rely on you to let me know if she was right in her predictions, because ours was large and it had a ring around it, but it was white, bright white.
Yeah. She's probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's that. Thank you all for watching us, and come on over to Weird Realities Network here in about 15 minutes. And again, thank you for watching us, because we are watching you.
The bees are dying, and our survival hangs in the balance. In the past year, over 70% of U.S. bee colonies, more than 1.1 million hives, were lost, marking the worst collapse on record. At 4RBs, we're fighting back with our breakthrough PureWave cell, a quantum frequency device crafted with 48,000 Gauss rare earth magnets in the shape of the flower of life. When placed inside a beehive, it delivers remarkable results. Colonies grow 2 to 3 times larger, honey production soars, pesticide and antibiotic use drops to zero, colony collapse nearly vanishes, and queen replacements plummet. Every purchase also supports our beekeeper program, providing free PureWave cells to small beekeepers worldwide. Rebuilding life one hive at a time. Join the fight today and buy a jar of PureWave honey, or even one of the cells used by the beekeepers. Use code WITF for 20% off at 4rbs.com. And if you're listening on audio only, that's the number 4, letter R, bees.com.